Alright guys, a quick video before the big update tomorrow or the stream tomorrow. We got two new augments available right now for Kawakaze and Gneisenau. So as of right now, got a billion of these and most of them have been pretty good. Some of them have been kind of whatever though. This time, let's see if anything has changed for any of these ships. So the first one we have is going to be for Gneisenau, and what it does, it gives up to 18 firepower, which is very good, and 11 more reload. Now, I will say one thing. Reload used to be one of those stats that a lot of people hated because of Helena and stuff like that. But over the course of the years, reload has been one of those stats that's very wanted now compared to before. A lot of people still play around Helena these days though, but because of how some of the really good setups require like slow ships or slow guns, having more reload is actually beneficial to have. So having this right here, you would think, oh, reload used to be one of those stats that we all hated. It's actually really good now. So having firepower and reload as an augment, very good on top of that. Now the mod for this is going to be every battle, first strike firepower. When this ship fires her first volley, increase your main fleet's firepower by 20 for 10 seconds. Very good. This cannot stack with itself. So again, a little pre-buff for the first volley for 20 firepower. Can't go wrong with it. I think a lot of ships have this kind of augment or whatever. I think it's like a basic one or whatever, but it's actually really nice to have. Now the unique skill right here is going to be torpedo launch. Every 20 seconds, fire 12 acoustic torpedoes forward. Damage is based on the skills level as always. So this is the similar one right here. Now, what's different is this part here. Increase the ships and your Ironblood's light cruisers and destroyers damage dealt against CVs by 10%. So here's the thing. You won't get much value out of this unless you're going into like some of the later worlds, and even then there's not like that many carriers. I think most of the carriers in the game as of right now are like either bosses or something else. Like you're not going to see that much like enemies for carriers. There are a couple, but they're for like trash mobs, there isn't too many of those. So honestly, I don't know why they made it so it's only carriers. They should have just made it universal, because honestly, even if they did make this skill universal for destroyers, light cruisers, and for herself, it's not game breaking. Like there's no game breaking Ironblood DDs, light cruisers, or Gneisenau like herself. It's not game breaking. So they should have just made this universal, not make it CV only, because making a CV only is like, okay, where am I actually going to get value from this, right? They should have just made a universal. Much better that way. Overall, though, it is a nice buff, but it's one of those like super niche ones. Like you're reading this like, wow, 10% damage increase for light cruisers and destroyers and herself. That's actually really good. Oh, it's against carriers. Where do you go from there, right? But the stats are nice. The first strike firepower is always nice to have, so you're just building it for stats alone. The skill upgrade is extra, but it's kind of whatever on it. Kind of whatever. Now for Kawakaze, stats is gonna be up to 30 torpedo, very good. 6 hit, nice to have those as always, and slash attack. This is basically frontmost position. You get a slashing wave. Every auxiliary basically have this for Vanguard. It's the same thing as always. Now the skill upgrade right here. Lunga Point Strike Plus. So the initial skill is increase your Sakura Empire's destroyer damage against light cruisers, heavy cruisers, and large cruisers by 15%. So basically everything that has a cruiser, because on the wiki it says basically all cruisers, and that's true. All cruisers basically take 15% more damage from your enemy, from your ally Sakura Empire destroyers. Kind of nice buff. Not a lot of people used her back in the day because of this. I remember even back then when she came out and she had this, no one really used her. Everyone was using like Tanikaze, Ibuki, Jinsu, Ayanami, those kind of destroyers. No one really used Kawakaze, so she never had that moment or whatever, so there's always that. But the new skill right here is this part right here. Every 5 times this ship fires her main guns, fires a level 10 special barrage damage based on skills level, and decrease this ship's damage taken by 30% for 3 seconds. So I gotta see what that barrage looks like. I'm gonna assume it's just like a regular normal barrage or whatever, just gunfire. But if it's a special barrage for torpedoes, actually really good. Otherwise though, it's just extra damage. You can't go wrong with it. It's definitely an upgrade from the other one. It's not super niche like a Gneisenau, where it's like only for carriers. It's a straight up upgrade from the previous skill, so that's always good. And the second part decreases damage the ship's damage taken by 30% for 3 seconds. It should be a lot longer. I say it's 5%, or not 5%, 5 seconds. 30% damage reduction is actually really nice because she's one of those old destroyers in the game where like it's lacking HP, lacking survivability. Overall, there's like much better destroyers nowadays compared to back then. So she's missing a lot there. But having that 30% damage reduction helps out a lot. It just needs a little bit longer. Like I say 5%. Should have been much better that way. But it is what it is. It is an upgrade from the regular one straight up. 30 torpedoes, can't go wrong with it. Stat-wise, really good. Skill-wise, it's extra. And so forth. So this time around, there's not any like super crazy ones. You just make them, toss them on the ships if you like them or you're using them, and you're good to go. There's nothing super game breaking this time around. The last game breaking one I was talking about was like I think Hood or someone else's, but nothing really game breaking this time around though. So if you guys want to save some money because we have the UR event most likely next week, go ahead and do that. Otherwise though, if you guys want to make some new stuff, go ahead and do that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching as always. Stay tuned next video and the stream tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in the next video.